is happening here? Tom appears to have hesitated before purchasing the cake, yet he proceeded to purchase what he hesitated about. Why? Tom could have been on a diet, but because of the desire of cake and alluring promotion and presentation, Tom ultimately gives in. This precise situation shows the easily distracting nature of human beings and their tendency to make decisions that are not in their best interests. Ideally, given all the necessary information, Tom would opt for food products containing the least amount of calories and most nutrition. Tom is a victim of something called behavioral bias, an element within behavioral economics. Tom was influenced to the point where he acted on his information, failing to recognize what is best for him. Now, let's see what that cake tastes like. Why does Tom seem to spend excessive amounts on cake? Is he willing to spend more money? Let me tell you, this situation is a perfect demonstration of the concept of mental accounting. According to the economist Richard Taylor, Tom is deriving pleasure from the quality of the deal and not only from the object's value. Money is treated differently depending on its origin and intended use. Tom perceives the pain of spending money as diluted when he pays by card because plastic is less tangible than cash. I'm sure you can relate. Now, let's see what the others have to say and let's dig deeper into the concept of behavioral economics.
In traditional economies, humans make decisions that are based on their own self-interest as rational beings, decisions based on accepted principles of economics like supply and demand. In theory, when facing a decision, humans would choose the option that maximizes their individual satisfaction. So, with the right knowledge, it is assumed that people are able to make rational decisions by correctly weighing pros and cons of each option they are facing. In reality, humans often make decisions that appear to be irrational. Richard Taylor is considered as being the father of behavioral economics. He defines it as being a combination of insights from psychology, judgment, decision-making, and economics to help better understand human behaviors. The two examples shown in the video display perfect examples of irrational decision-making. Another concept to illustrate behavioral economics is information avoidance, when people deliberately decide to not take in consideration the information that is freely available. An example in behavioral finance, when investors are less likely to check their portfolio online when market is down than when it is up. This is called the ostrich effect. According to behavioral economics, decisions people make are influenced by the context in which they are made, so they are not always self-interested. Behavioral economics can be applied in behavioral finance. It seeks to explain why investors make rash decisions when trading in capital markets.
Behavioral finance is a subfield to behavioral economics. It outlines that also investors and traders are influenced by heuristic and cognitive biases. More explicitly, behavioral finance is focused on the study of errors in judgment and of decision-making characteristics in financial investments and takes so its part in explaining market anomalies. In other words, when other financial models investors are assumed to be unemotional maximizers of wealth, the behavioral view tries to explain market movements, including the emotions and irrationality of the traders. One such example of irrationality could be the loss aversion or also regret theory. This theory outlines that the feeling of losing money is much stronger than the feeling of winning a similar amount of money. In this price chart of the Bitcoin bubble, we see that many sold their Bitcoins in the left bubble in order not to lose their gains. Instead of selling, a stop loss would have been much more interesting for the traders. But this didn't happen, as the trading volume from the second bubble is very low. Another bias is representativeness. Representativeness results in investors labeling an investment as good or bad based on its recent performance. Here you see the best performing S&P 500 stocks from 2017 compared to their 2018 performance. The best performing share from 2017 gained over 134%, whereas the same stock in 2018 lost 7%. If an investor would have been confident in energy because of its past performance, this would have been a money-losing deal.
All in all, behavioral economics is a field that brings economics and finance together with psychology, neuroscience, and sociology through the study of biases and their effect on the trading markets. You now know how anomalies can lead traders to fall into behavioral biases, but does this mean that we should abandon the market efficiency theory, that all traders are rational investors? From Fama's research from 1998, we can conclude that the long-term model is more accurate, as upward and downward anomalies hold each other in balance. However, momentum in the short-term trading is still very much linked to people's everyday decisions in this complex world.